In the 1960s, on the reservation, it was really simple life. And I heard the drums and I heard the chanting and the flute. And I didn't think that it would be much a part of my life as it is today. I learned to make flutes when I was 18 years old. And from the moment I heard them until I made that first flute, the anticipation was so enormous. And then the beauty of the flute was already given on how I carved it. All I had to do was blow my breath through it. And it was beautiful. What I have here is a flute. This is a traditional style flute. There's no beadwork. There's just wood and a little bit of deer skin. And the flutes, they're hollow, and they come in two pieces. And you can't really see it from here, but there's a seam that runs down the side of the flute here. We have two square holes here. This part of the flute is called the chamber side of the flute. This part up here, this is the mouthpiece. So I blow my breath into the mouthpiece. The chamber is here. My breath will come out this first square hole. There is a wall in here. My breath will come up and go back into the next square hole. And it'll travel down the flute, and it'll exit out the hole. The last one that I cover, the next hole, is the one that you're hearing. And at the end here, we have the trout. Here he is on the end here. It comes back from the days when we used the canoe a lot. Back then, trout was a very big part of our sustenance. What I have in this hand is a top piece. It fits on top of the flute, and it's the elk effigy or fetish that fits on top of the flute. We have the antlers of the elk carved on the side here, his head. And we have the sun on this side, and on this side we have the moon. One full cycle of one day. This lets us know that there are spirits that govern the day as well as the night. It is notched underneath here to provide a flow path from the chamber over this wall here back into the flute. So without this top piece, your flute wouldn't play. And you carve your flutes out like a canoe, and then they go together like that. And then I'll carve my top piece to fit directly over the first square hole. And I cover it up to the second. For without the top piece, we would get air. Once I provide that flow path of air over that wall, then my flute will play. And the beauty of the flute is determined on how I carve the inside. And it's not one thickness, it's several different thicknesses through the flute, so that the flute will vibrate when it plays. And when I put my top piece on the flute like this, we'll tie it. And play a song. Beautiful.